Hark! I am the ghost of Christmas future. I have come to...
Wait, what? Christmas was over months ago, and I'm pretty sure no one says hark anymore.
Sorry. Since the Great Resignation, there aren't many of us future ghosts left working, so, well, I'm stretched a bit. I should be working on my holiday hauntings, but I'm picking up the slack.
Yeah, it's tough out there for sure. My accounting firm has real capacity problems too. If we could find a way to tackle the work we have and still grow the firm, we'd be in great shape. But we're bogged down with all these menial bookkeeping tasks.
That is why I have come, to show you the future of bookkeeping.
That's great, but I'm standing right here.
Oh, sorry.
You got my attention though. Let's hear about the future of bookkeeping. At this point, I'll even take unsolicited ghost advice.
The future of bookkeeping is BotKeeper. It will free your accountants from the chains of data entry, reconciliation, and verification. And now, if you schedule a meeting on or before March 31st, 2022, you could win a year of BotKeeper bookkeeping automation free. Just visit botkeeper.com/win for details and rules.
Wow, a free year of BotKeeper? That sounds pretty amazing. But we already have an online GL.
Silly mortal. BotKeeper works with QuickBooks and Xero, the most popular online GLs. Free yourself from tweaking rules and accessing your client's financial accounts. BotKeeper automates it all and learns as it goes.
It sounds fantastic, but we're so busy, we don't have time to implement new systems.
BotKeeper is quick and simple to implement, and they even help, like Santa's helpers.
Okay, I'm interested. How do I get started?
Just visit botkeeper.com/win. And merry...
Yeah, still not Christmas.
Hi, everybody. I'm a big boy now. I'm reading ads by myself. Live flow ad take 4. Have you ever exported a QuickBooks Online report to a Google Sheet and spent time customizing that sheet, invited others to collaborate on that sheet, and then discovered that this piece of sheet QuickBooks data has changed, and then you got to go back to the QuickBooks, start the process all over again? Well, fear not, fellow listeners, because LiveFlow has solved that problem. LiveFlow connects to QuickBooks Online, and it connects Google Sheets live in the name. QuickBooks Online, Google Sheets, LiveFlow is the bridge between those, live back and forth. So you have the sheets automatically update with the most recent QuickBooks data. Change something in QuickBooks, it changes in the sheet. Boom, live, awesome. Accountants are using LiveFlow today to create automatically updating budget and actual reports and consolidated reports. Yes, they do consolidated reports, so a multiple QuickBooks Online companies can move into one Google Sheet. That's right. To learn more about using LiveFlow at your firm, go to liveflow.io/sons. liveflow.io. That rhymes, and I'm pretty sure it's intentional. liveflow.io/sons. Not sure if it's a forward or backward slash, but you get it. Slash. liveflow.io/sons. Whatever slash that other websites use, just do that. Like the HTTPML stuff, that slash. I'm pretty sure it's a backslash, but I don't know. Slash. liveflow.io/sons. Peace out.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Scott.
Hello and welcome. We are all the sons of CPAs. Join us with this week's 5-Minute Lee, where Michael Lee and Scott Scarano discuss some choice topics on running their respective modern accounting firms. What's
Great to see
today's
you, buddy.
topic, Michael? Great to see you.
The accountant's not to-do list. 5 things to stop now. Now. Stop them now. 5
Stop
things.
what you're doing. 5
Stop
things.
These
All right.
5 things. Not stop what you're doing. Just stop these 5 things specifically.
And is this the accountant or the firm owner for our perspective? Or both?
I think it's both. Well, I think This is part of Carbon Magazine. This article is assuming the accountant is it's an accountant that's doing the work. So it's an accountant, could be a firm owner, could be a worker, but they're an accountant and they've got to stop doing these 5 things. So the first one is do not waste time with bad clients.
We're
We're all guilty of this.
To my heart.
We're all guilty of this.
We were at my firm. I think we have done a very excellent job of weeding out almost all of our bad clients. Still have some, still waste time with some, but it's almost to a minimum. Oh man, but this is close to my heart because did we ever, like the clients that are just don't appreciate anything, they demand all of our time. And I think it's the way that they approach the relationship. They feel like they're at an upper hand at the beginning and they talk down to everybody. And it's always trying to get their approval. Those are some bad clients. And I don't know if you have those, but it's anybody on the team. It's like we have to be worthy to work with them, not for them to work with us too. And oh God, so that's one type of terrible client.
Totally. I totally agree. Those clients generally are, as this article says, particularly needy or difficult, unreasonable expectations of what your firm's providing them, consistently late gathering information.
So yeah, and this is a different type though. I think that there's, well, actually no, the one I was talking about, similar, very similar because like totally unreasonable in the way that they are. And it's always on their time.
Yeah.
And they're always, everything they need is right now. I need this now. Why wasn't, and they're demanding as hell. But then when we need something from them, ghost town.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I think that sums up. And honestly, most of the time, they're not the highest paying. They're actually the lowest paying, oftentimes,
typically
clients.
Yeah, because
they're not paying you the value of what they're expecting from you at all. So that's, wasting time with the bad clients doesn't really help because you got plenty of other clients that are paying you your value, and they're not wasting your time. You're not wasting their time, and they treat your team great. And those are the ones.
So I noticed this in the sales process too, and I'm starting to try to figure out who the bad people are going to be. And this is an interesting time right now because I don't want to take on a client that's going to be bad. So I'm trying to figure that out preemptively and figure out what are the telltale signs. And I think a lot of it, if you're going to start at the sales process, is people being demanding during that and not respecting your time, showing up late for the first sales meeting or rescheduling and canceling, and just the way that their tone and the demeanor is. I can kind of weed some of them out there. That's not to say that they may end up being a good client, and there are reasons for different things, but that's a good rule of thumb, is to try to figure out some of these things and go back on some of these clients and see what they did early on. And maybe that's a trend too.
So number 2, do not check email regularly during the day. This I am definitely guilty of. I check email way more often than I need to or should.
You do.
And yeah, I check email because I'm pretty quick at responding. I'm pretty quick at getting back to people.
Are.
But I don't need to do that, right? Life won't be disrupted or destroyed if I just check even just 5 times or 3 times a day or 1 time a day. Most I think
for the people on this call right now, we need balance. Neither of us have any balance when it comes to email because I don't check my email for days at a time.
And I'm on the opposite end. I'm on the opposite end.
You're on the opposite end. Yeah. Like we both need some balance in that. I'm trying to get better. One thing that we discussed right before this call was kind of separating. If you have multiple things going on as an owner or CEO, for me, I actually have a podcast now. Did you know that? Did you know I got a podcast?
Really?
And there's
Scott?
a lot of communication involved with this. Guests, sponsors, like all kinds of things going on. Communication with this.
Hounding co-hosts.
My regular co-hosts, a lot of co-hosts, and a lot of different things. I'm doing too much, but it's fine. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but I need a separate silo for that communication too. So this is totally not related to this article, but it is kind of like you need to be mindful of email and maybe track your time on email for a listener.
I think if you schedule 15 to 30 minutes 2 or 3 times at the same time every day, right, during your workday, and only spent
Beautiful.
time responding to emails for 15, 30 minutes. And then whatever you don't respond to, fine. Just wait till the next time.
Yeah.
Because it's okay. And most of the times you're still going to get back to people within a 12 to 24 hour period. If you do that rhythm, people are still going to get a response from you. And then the people who have emergencies, just tell them there's ways to reach you otherwise. Text, call your assistant, whatever it is, Slack. There's other ways to reach you. So I'm just guilty of this because I'm addicted to email and checking
The key
it.
is balance and cadence, right? I know, I get it. And I know how it is to be addicted to email because I'm addicted to a lot of things. And that's my only way of release is to get rid of it altogether. I have a lot of trouble finding balance. So for any listener, I'm empathizing with you too. We're all pretty bad with email, but yeah, definitely stay away from that. That's a number 2. Do not. Number 3, do not say yes to everything. That's huge.
Oh man, that's huge. Yeah. I've tried to practice saying no more, and it's funny. This gets more important as you progress in your career and your opportunities. It's not a matter of saying yes or no to good and bad things. It's not binary anymore. It's saying yes or no to good and great things. Yeah. What'll happen is you have a table of good and great things, like Scott, we were talking about the different trips we're invited to go to next month, right? And there's different trips and events. Well, I can't do everything. Maybe I can do part of it. Some of them I have to say no to. That's just a reality as you climb up in your career.
I have a lot of trouble doing this. Yeah. This one I'm still struggling with. And it's also, we have to think of in a perspective too. Something that we would have said yes, absolutely to last year, and instinctually we might say yes to this year, it might be totally different. Circumstances may have changed, and things that you already said yes to, you got to rethink what you already committed to and what are your commitments. So maybe slower to say yes to certain things. Maybe don't gut reaction or instinctually say yes to something. Say, I'll think about it and then sleep on it. That usually changes my mindset on certain things too.
Right. Quicker to say no especially if it doesn't align with your priorities. I think that's really, really important. Mm-hmm. Do not give accounting advice for free. Now, this one's hard because, I think there's a reality it's a reality of two. It's like you're, I don't know, at dinner with a friend and they've just got a question and you're eating. What do you do? Stop and say, okay, hey, we're going to have to get an agreement put together before or I'm going to bill you for this time, friend, right? That you're just sitting there having dinner or lunch. So
well, let's not go friends. Let's talk clients, because friends that's a difficult conversation. I tend to think if it's outside of the business relationship, then any advice is fine to give, but just know that take my fucking advice with a grain of salt. And they quote Mark Wickersham here, somebody that was just on a recent episode of ours. He says, I would guess that every accounting firm is giving away tens of thousands of value every year. So he's talking about firms giving it away. I don't know where you draw the line when a client's paying you enough to ask questions. I think that's something that has to be outlined in the engagement and the scope. Keep things within scope.
Right.
Too. This is a difficult question, but if it's not free, so the key part of this, don't give accounting advice for free if they're already paying for it. But then we have annual tax engagements. This happened twice recently. People send me either a text or a long email about something that is related to tax planning. They've already paid for their tax return. And in both cases, respectfully, I'm going to have to get you a proposal for this. And one of them ran away crying, screaming, you never have done this before in the past. I'm going to, give me my last year's tax return stuff. I'm going to go somewhere. Okay. And that's
exactly
that we handle that. They may end up coming back. Who knows? But the other one who's like, oh, I get it. Sure. Then we're still trying to deal with how we're going to handle those kind of things. Right. Like it's hard for you. Do you still deal with that with clients?
Well, I don't really deal with clients at my firm. So that's what my team does. But I know they're giving away value in the sense of when a client asks one of our team members to do something, oftentimes the first thought is, oh, if I feel comfortable doing it, I'll do it. Right. And we do empower people to say, look, if you get a one-time request and you can do it in a short amount of time and it's out of scope, go ahead and do it to just to go above and beyond. But if you get a request regularly, or it's a one time and it's actually going to take you a long time to do it, more than 30 minutes or more than 15 minutes, and really it's not in scope, then please let account management or sales get involved.
That's the hard thing about value pricing or fixed fees. If you're not doing hourly is shit. That's a clear scope of the engagement. I'm going to charge you for my time. The part of me that realizes the difficulty of pricing things up front is things like this, that how do you define scope when the lines are blurred? And we've had this conversation around people advisory. We've had this conversation around tax advice, around any kind of accounting advice. It's just kind of hard to draw those lines sometimes, when it's an ongoing relationship. So that's why I like the evolution of a subscription model and a higher price to basically catch all.
Yeah. So the last point is do not keep knowledge to yourself. Number 5. It really pertains to there's knowledge as you as a firm owner or as an accountant have that only you know to run your practice. And there are individuals at your practice that they would actually be able to get their jobs done better if you were able to share that knowledge down about different processes, whether it's how to keep a customer happy, how to do upgrades on the proposal, how to empowering them to send gift cards or little gifts or thank yous to your customers, things that are in a process where
decentralize your organization.
Yes, decentralize it.
Decentralize the organization from top to bottom and empower. That's huge. Certain parts of us feel like we have proprietary knowledge, and sometimes we may not want to share that because then people are going to know our secrets. That's BS. I used to think that. I don't know why. Like, it's just more of a mindset than anything else. I never really knew anything that special. But if I did know something, I was like, oh, this is gold. I got to make sure I write this down and keep it in my little notebook or my ideas pad, and nobody else is going to have this idea. That's all bullshit. But decentralize. I like the comment you made about like little gift cards, like empower them. Karbon, speaking of our article today, sent me a little $10 card, and it looked like it was handwritten. I think the company that they use is Handwritten, like WRYTTEN. That was really cool. So it's got everybody's handwriting from the people that could send it. You select the person, type up a little note, and when it comes in, it looks very much like it's ink, and it was written, and had a little note from Ian and a little $10 Starbucks card. I thought that was cool. And it came in the mail.
It's awesome. Well, that's it. 5 things to stop doing, guys. Take the advice. Stop doing them right now.
Stop doing them. And if you don't stop doing them, we empathize with you because it's hard.
We're guilty of it too.
We are. But mindfulness is the first step. So understanding and knowing these things, knowing that they're bad universally, and we'll sign off. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Scott.